Everyone, I'm so happy that you're here today because today we're going to discuss the difference about raw food and cooked food. Because as you know, a great deal of the world population eats their foods cooked, and maybe you're part of that group. So today we're going to discuss, the goal is to discuss what the pros and cons are of how we prepare our foods and how we eat our foods. Maybe a first good question before we go deeper into this matter is, since when have we started cooking our foods? Is this something that we've been doing for millions of years? Or is this something recent? And are we only doing this for a couple of thousands of years? This is something that specialist nutritional anthropologists have been debating over for years. And after doing some great research, I'm going to explain this to you in a short, resumed way. Because fire has been used, has shown its first signs hundreds and thousands of years ago. But as from today, anthropologists, those specialists, still haven't been able to show that we humans were using fire on a regular basis to cook or warm up our foods. But anthropologists, those nutritional anthropologists, have discovered that 10,000 years ago, humanity, we've we've been through a very important evolution. We were gatherer hunters, and we've made the evolution to what we now know as being agricultures. But what's a hunter gatherer? Well, it's easy. We were nomadic people, meaning that we were going from one place to the other place. For example, if in one place it was too cold, we would go to a warmer place. If in one place there would be no more foods left, well, we would go and find a place where there was food. And on the way, as we were walking through those different places, we would find foods along the way, and that's what we would eat. Now that we've made this evolution from being hunter-gatherers, which we were for millions of years, to what we now know as agricultures, well, we didn't have to look for our food anymore because we were making it ourselves. It was at our feet literally because we had our fields where we were producing our own foods. So we had more time to think, we had more time to invent new things. So these are also the first signs that we humans were using fire to warm up and cook our foods. But it doesn't mean that we were doing this every day. It doesn't mean that we were doing this weekly or monthly. It was something we were doing like very, it wasn't something we were doing a lot, basically. This is also the first evidence that we were consuming more animal-based foods on a more regular basis. And here also, this was not every day, weekly. It was something that happens from time to time, but certainly not like we're doing it today. So if we look on a scale of humanity and the evolution of mankind, we can see that cooking our food is something really recent, as is eating animal-based foods. And human science today, modern science, has shown that our body has not been able to make that transition. Our body has not adapted to the way we've started eating today. And human science, or let's say anthropologists, have also shown that from the moment we've started cooking our foods and eating more animal-based foods, humankind has developed new diseases, such as diabetes, such as overweight, such as cardiovascular diseases, and different types of cancers. So now that we know a bit of the history of why we started cooking, when we started cooking, we can go a little bit deeper and discuss why we should avoid cooked foods and animal-based foods, and why we should focus more on raw plant-based foods. And I know for a lot of you this is a a sensible subject because we've been eating this way for a, our whole life. I mean, our parents were eating this way, our grandparents, generations before us were eating that way, and now you're telling us that it was all wrong? I mean, when the first time I heard this, I was like, yeah, right. But I've started doing my own research, and I've been for training in the United States where I've learned a lot about food, nutrition, and the way we prepare it. And I know today what's good for me. And it was hard to swallow, it was hard to accept. Um, but yeah, here I am today discussing this with you and sharing this information with you. So now, I'm going to try to explain this to you in an easy, resumated way. Why to avoid cooked foods and focus on plant-based foods. Foods contain energy, and we humans, our body needs energy to survive, energy to function, food to function. So food, what happens when we eat it? Well, our body converts it into energy. Food also contains life. Just like us, food lives. But now you're going to tell me what? Food lives? Yeah, of course, yeah, food lives, believe it or not. Because food takes the energy from the sun. And that energy, so this solar energy, is transformed into energy that is available for our bodies. Now, a good second question we can ask ourselves is which foods contain the most energy? Well, let's think for a second. Which foods are in contact with the sun the most? Well, that's easy. It's vegetables and fruits. Because there's a general rule, the greener it is, the better it is. Because it's that green color, it's called chlorophyll. And it is the energy that is absorbed by those leaves and is transformed into energy and is a concentration of vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients that is essential for our body. It is when we eat those foods that our immune system becomes strong, we become good, and our energy can function in its optimal way. Now, which foods contain no energy? Which foods are bad foods? Well, this is easy as well. Which foods are not in contact with the sun? Well, processed foods such as cookies, crackers, biscuits, pastas, all wheat-based foods and animal-based foods such as milk, meat. Meat is dead. There's no energy in there for our bodies. Our body are losing energy. When we eat foods that are not living, we deplete our energy of our bodies. And the goal is to gain energy so that our body can function as optimal way. Now, why this whole explanation? Well, it is to come at what is really important. It is what happens when we cook our foods. Well, when we cook our foods on a temperature above 45 degrees Celsius, well, the energy, that concentration of nutrients, those vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, they disappear from our foods. So what our body needs the most, we just cook it out. And that's the reason why today, throughout the world, our immune systems are so weak. And that's why we get so sick. And more young people become sick. Even newborns, new babies, new children, they are born with a very weak immune system. And the way we feed ourselves just makes it worse. And that's why we have all these diseases becoming stronger and stronger, such as diabetes, um, cardiovascular diseases, um, different types of cancers. And every day there's new diseases coming up which we've never heard of. Um, Also, distress. We're aging more rapidly. Our skin is looking more, is olding much faster. And that's all to do with the way we eat and especially the way we prepare our foods. Now, we can really go into all the details here, and I can explain you exactly why you should avoid cooked foods and eat more raw plant-based foods, but that's not the goal. The goal is to explain you the most important thing, that is, if we cook above 45 degrees, our energy levels in our foods, they they decrease, nutrient levels decrease, our immune system weakens, and we become more sick. um, and the goal is not to become sick, is to have a strong immune system. And now that we know all of these things, I know for a lot of us this is difficult to accept. It was for me too, because we've been eating this way for so many years, and everybody's eating this way. It cannot be that bad. But let's not look at everyone, because you are the most important person. It's your health, it's your well being, it's your life. So we have to take care of ourselves. Now, what I'm suggesting is, for example, if we're used to eating 100% cooked foods, maybe we can add 20% of some raw vegetables in there. If we eat, the next stage could be, if we can go 50-50. We can eat 50% cooked food and 50% raw food, raw plant-based foods. It can be something you can start small, like if you, for example, eat a spaghetti, and well, yeah, let's just have an example. If you eat spaghetti and instead of cooking your vegetables, well, you just put some raw carrots, raw onions, raw tomatoes in there. It can be small steps, and slowly but surely, gradually leaning more to a raw plant-based diet, and see what happens. It's magical. That's the only word I have for it, because it's really magical. I mean, the energy in your body, it's something that you can feel within your body. And as you can feel it within your body, you'll start seeing the changes on the outside. Your energy level is going to go up. You're going to feel much more positive. The people around you are going to say, wow, he's become so sweet, because you become more sweeter. You become a more gentle person because you eat more gentle foods, and because you're treating your body in a more gentle way. You're going to lose weight. Your skin is gonna look better. You're gonna you're gonna have less stress. You're gonna have, for people who have anxiety, you'll have less anxiety. If people who are doing sports, your sports, um, your sport levels are gonna increase. You're gonna have that more energy. You're gonna be able to run longer, or swim longer, or bike longer. It's really magical, and it's so simple. Just by changing our foods, we can have so many benefits. I'm glad that you've watched this video, and I know that we're gonna get results, and that little by little we're gonna learn a lot of new different things. And together we're gonna make it. Together we're gonna get the weight we wanted. Together we're gonna have that good skin we wanted. Together we're gonna be able to slow down our aging process, little by little, video by video, meal by meal. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, or you want to ask me something, please don't hesitate to leave a comment, and I'll try to answer you as soon as I can. I'm grateful that you've watched this. I'm very happy that together we're working on this together, and I'm sending you all my love, and see you in the next video. Bye.